Hello friends, in today's video I want to share some thoughts about the beauty of collaboration. It's something that quite honestly I don't do enough of. It's very hard for me to find the time these days to do any collabs. But I did just finish a track recently with my friend Mansij from Delhi, India. I think it's pretty special. It's a track called Attikan Roast, and it is officially my first lo-fi hip-hop collab to go live on Spotify. And as well, it's going to go live on Artlist, which is cool and unique because Mansij just happens to be working with Artlist as well, which means that we can send them collabs and both collect on the royalties. So before I get into that, I want to give you a really quick heads up that throughout this week, I'm going to be rolling out a series of discounts on all my MIDI packs, all my courses, and of course, Academy membership pricing as well. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. Make sure that you're subscribed to my email list. If you want to get on that list, just go and download the free sample and MIDI pack. That link is in the description of all my videos. Or if you don't want to do that, no problem. Just check back in on the channel sometime later this week. I think either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll put out a video or maybe do a live video about some of the Black Friday deals that I'm putting out there, as well some of the things that I've already bought. I've pretty much done all my Black Friday shopping already, which is crazy. Anyway, exciting time of year. All the discounts are happening, so I'm happy. So let's get into this track. I really hope that this song starts your week off on the right note. So in this video, I'm just going to open up the session of our track. I'm going to give you a quick breakdown. I'm also going to share a short interview I did with Mansij, where we talk about his journey as a musician and a producer living in India. So without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with the chord progression and the beat. This is essentially what I sent Mansij at first. This is the first idea. This chord progression is just a really simple, like jazz-inspired chord progression. It comes from the Vintage Keys Lo-Fi MIDI pack, which is on sale right now at productionmusictools.com, and it sounds like this. So putting this piano through a bit of RC20 and sketch cassette, which makes it sound pretty lo-fi. You get that saturation and nice tape wobble. And then all these beat elements are being put through the Wolf compressor. There's an auto filter on this channel to dip down during our breakdown section, and they're also going through sketch cassette. So really simple and already sounds, you know, like it's well on its way. So I threw that Mansij's way, and he added some beautiful guitar work, starting with this amazing melody, which just totally inspired me. And when he threw that melody back at me, the first thing I did was put a little throwback piano on the track, which is basically just doubling that melody. And that's from the Stray Light library. I also copied my piano progression and put it through a DX7 patch. And this is from the Arturia collection. And I also put it through the Stage 73. And these just added, you know, a ton of depth to the progression. So already super vibey. I put this bass line down. And then tossing it back and forth a few more times, Mansij added some more guitar work, starting with this really funky wah guitar here. And I'm always talking about like having some idea that you want to add as like kind of like a B section idea. Lo-fi being, you know, really repetitive. This served as like the perfect counterpoint to, you know, our A section here. So when we come into this breakdown, this is where we introduce this this wah guitar. And it sounds like this coming out of the chorus. And and then slowly building things up through this breakdown. So adding the bass line back in halfway through, and then also adding this melody here. This is something that Mansij also added. Just some vibey keys. And then he also added this guitar part in too, which I decided would make for like a really, really great outro idea. And I usually don't introduce ideas at the outro section, but this just had an outro vibe to it for some reason. And this guitar part sounds like this. So that guitar just kind of closes the track out in this really unique way. It's something I don't do very often, but I thought it worked. We both added some ear candy in, which just sounds like this. Just vocal chops. Just little one-shots that are just kind of peppered throughout the track. Interesting stabs, that kind of thing. And that's it. I mean, it's very, very simple. And then when we had all the ideas ready to go, I sent the track back to Mansij and he did the final master on it. Okay, that was the track. I hope you liked it. Feel free to go to Spotify, add it to your playlists, give it a listen there and give us a little algorithm boost. We'd really appreciate it. And in the meantime, I'm going to share a quick chat I had with Mansij. I think you'll find this insightful. Let's check it out. Okay, so I'm here with my friend Mansij from Delhi, India. Mansij is a music producer. He's one of the many people I've met through putting myself out there on YouTube. And in the short time that we've known each other, Mansij, you've managed to get your music onto Artlist, which is awesome. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But first, I just want to say thanks for taking the time to answer a few questions here. And how are things going over there?
Oh, it's good. It's good.
Awesome.
And thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's a pleasure to join.
Awesome. Yeah, my first question for you is how did you get into music production? And I know we have similar backgrounds in that we're both guitarists, and we have backgrounds as performing musicians. How did you find music production? When did that start happening?
So I actually always wanted to write my own songs basically. And earlier in 2019, I didn't really have a big budget to get it mixed and produced from someone else. So I just started getting into it, and I made some really bad songs in the start. But then slowly I started getting better at it. I did some courses from Production Music Live, and yeah, that's how I started. So basically, I wanted to write my own music and produce it and mix it and put it out there.
Yeah, that's exactly the
Yeah.
same for me. Cool. Okay, I'm curious about when did you first hear about or know about music licensing? Was it by discovering a music library like Artlist or something, or was there another library that you worked with previously? How did you figure all that out?
Yeah, so in 2020, actually, in the March when we had a lockdown here in India, I was actually looking for a new source of income
Yeah.
from music because the live gigs had totally stopped. And that's what I used to do before. Before COVID, that was my main thing. I was playing live with people. So at that time, I just did a random search one day, how can we make money from music online? I just did that on Google, and I found music licensing as one of the things which I didn't really know about before.
Yeah.
So then I started researching on it, and the first library I actually found was Audio Jungle. So then I actually discovered Daniel's channel by researching on, for Audio Jungle. I actually discovered Stock Music Licensing by Daniel
Yeah, yeah,
Carrizales,
yeah.
that channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So then I started getting into all of this and started producing I actually sent a lot of tracks to Audio Jungle, and initially it got rejected.
Yeah.
But then I kept doing that because I was also very new at music licensing, so I didn't have a clue how to make a track actually, which is licensable,
You're right.
and there's a particular arrangement also which Audio Jungle, loves to have. So
Totally.
yeah, that it took some time to figure that out. So that is how I got started. So Audio Jungle was the first library where I was submitting my music to.
That's so funny. It's the exact same thing for me. And I also discovered Daniel Carrizales through trying to get my music on Audio Jungle too. So that's really funny.
Mhm.
How has your experience been on Artlist so far? Because that's like, that's it's great that you've got your music on there. And I guess yeah, how do you like that? And are you working on anything to send them right now?
So Artlist has been pretty great so far. I was basically interested in Artlist because of their catalog, and I really liked the kind of artists they work with.
Yeah,
So that's why, and I am also that kind of person who is more into a little more uh, non-stock music vibe kind of library music.
yeah,
So Audio Jungle was a good start for me, but I am more interested into a bit of arty kind of library music. So the Artlist was basically one of those libraries who would probably prefer that kind of thing.
totally.
So as of now, it has been great with Artlist, like the number of downloads and the exposure that my tracks have got. And the cool thing is that when the content creators are actually downloading music from Artlist, uh, they are very kind to put the credits in the description.
Right.
So that I mean, it really helps with Spotify streams for those same songs. Uh, so yeah, it has been really great, and I am actually working on few lo-fi tracks for Artlist right now.
Awesome. So yeah, just I have a question about Delhi, because Delhi is a huge city. I was just checking online before we connected here, and it said that the population is about like 32 million people, which is about the same as all of Canada. I think Canada is 38 million, where I live. So yeah, and I know India of course has like a really rich musical history. I'm wondering to what extent Indian culture and music has influenced you in your journey as a musician and a producer. And the reason I'm asking is just because I find it really interesting that you're producing lo-fi hip hop, and I'm curious, is there a big hip hop scene in India? Is it lo-fi really popular there?
So it's not really popular here, but it's slowly getting popular. So I mean, just last month I saw a playlist on Spotify called Lo-Fi Hindi.
Oh, cool.
So people are basically making lo-fi versions of Bollywood tracks now and independent Hindi tracks. So that's a trend that is basically starting now in India. That
Interesting.
lo-fi people are discovering lo-fi, but earlier nothing much. Basically, not a big hip hop scene as well. But there's a massive Punjabi hip hop scene going on right now. So it's very much like a trap beat and Punjabi rap kind of stuff that is getting really famous, kind of thing. Yeah.
Cool, cool. Yeah, it's really interesting because I was speaking with another friend of mine who lives in India. I think he's in Bengaluru, and
Mhm.
he was saying that he actually doesn't know anyone who's doing music production like full time, and I was really surprised by that. In fact, I'm actually always really surprised that there's not more people from India in our like Discord server, as well as in the Production Music Academy, just because it's such a
Mhm.
population dense country. So I'm wondering, like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
what's it like to be like a full time musician and music producer in Delhi? Like, do you know a lot of other people who are doing similar things to you, or like how does that what's that like?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of musicians here. I mean, great musicians, in fact, I would say. And a lot of my friends are producers.
Yeah,
Some people are producing for advertisements, and they are more into the commercial music industry, that kind of thing,
yeah,
films and short films, advertisements, commercials. Some of the people are actually producing for themselves and putting out, I mean, they are putting themselves out there as independent songwriters and producers.
yeah.
So, like, in just in Delhi, actually, there are a lot of musicians, which are right now, I mean, and a lot of musicians are actually, they have started producing now because of COVID. Everybody just got into music production somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So the scene is pretty good actually. The opportunities, opportunity wise as well, because Bollywood is there. Then there's
yeah.
Then there's a separate South Indian music industry, which is basically for South Indian films. Then there's a Bengali music industry going on separately because of different languages. And because we have so many languages here, there's a separate film and music industry for all of them,
Right, right.
basically. Yeah,
That's interesting, man. Awesome, man.
yeah,
Well, yeah, thanks. That's it, and I'm really excited to show everybody what we've been working on, and it's been a pleasure to collaborate with you, man.
yeah. You too, man. Same. Absolutely.
As always, guys, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know what you thought about the track in the comments below. Let me know if you've collaborated with any artists on Spotify yet, and make sure to stay tuned for some sweet deals coming up throughout this week. I will see you guys soon. Take care. Bye.